Singapore residents may soon have to go for a theory test to be at least 16 years old before they can ride an e-scooter in Singapore. These are among the recommendations submitted to the government by the Active Mobility Advisory Panel on Friday. Gwyneth Teo explains.
The Active Mobility Advisory Panel came up with 5 recommendations, and 3 of these would bring riding e-scooters closer to regulations for other motorized devices, a minimum age requirement, a mandatory theory test, and disallowing the use of mobile phones while riding. The panel also recommends compulsory third-party liability insurance for businesses that rely on e-scooter riders. It also suggested that pedestrians should play their part with a code of conduct to guide them on how to share paths safely. Members of the panel tell CNA that they've been working on these recommendations for months. The report comes as e-scooter accidents continue, with 2 people killed in a week. A 30-year-old man died on Tuesday after losing control of his e-scooter along Tanah Merah Coast Road. Earlier this week, a 65-year-old woman died after colliding with an e-scooter while she was cycling in Bedok North. In that case, the e-scooter rider was 20 years old. But the panel recommends 16 years as the minimum age for riding these devices, and the e-scooter community feels that this is an appropriate cut-off age.
We haven't really recorded much serious accident through kids younger than 16, but we also had our fair share of kids riding on the road. It's all over the media, all over social media, or other groups showing kids riding recklessly on the roads, pillion, doing Titanic movement, doing all kinds of style.
The panel also recommends a mandatory theory test to educate riders. Mr. Koh thinks it could take after the theory portion of the Safe Riding program, a voluntary course by the Land Transport Authority and the Singapore Road Safety Council.
For example, how to behave and recognize different paths. You have a shared path, you have a segregated path. So what are the speed limits and how, to go about to avoid certain pedestrians, the way to ride, to promote that harmonious sharing of space.
Mr. Koh tells CNA that the panel will see if the test should also have a practical component. The panel also recommends mandatory insurance for all e-scooter users, but as a first step, it wants to make third-party liability insurance compulsory for all businesses that hire e-scooter riders. Food delivery companies Deliveroo, Grab and Foodpanda all say their riders are already covered by third-party insurance. All 3 also conduct safety training for their fleets, and they intend to comply with LTA regulations. Senior Minister of State for Transport Lam Pin Min said the Transport Ministry will study the recommendations and respond in due course.